The law is very clear.
Shall we celebrate with a drink?
Oh, shut up!
HBR Talk with Hannah Wallen. In 2013, the National Association of Scholars wrote that as a follow-up to one of their own articles, and in an attempt to answer a question asked by Professor Glenn Reynolds of Instapundit, they looked at the gender makeup of Title IX coordinators at a random sample of 52 colleges and universities across the country. Mr. Reynolds had written, "And here's a piece of research I'd like to see. What's the racial/gender makeup of the campus student conduct offices regulating this sort of thing? I'll bet it's not representative of the student body." The investigation faced some interesting challenges to this effort, including inconsistent job titles and department structuring at various universities, lack of communication from the Office of Civil Rights, and lack of public transparency in the Association of Title IX Administrators. They were not able to get all of the information they wanted, but they did learn a few things. Title IX coordinators and investigators can be certified. The Association of Title IX Administrators offers this certification at conventions for fees ranging from the just over a C-note student fee to over $600 for a professional who registers late for some of the more expensive training. The U.S. Department of Education also has training materials. According to NAS's analysis of the data they were able to obtain, women are substantially overrepresented in the position of Title IX coordinator. To be representative of the student body, approximately 27 to 29 of the 52 Title IX coordinator positions, 55%, should have been held by women. But in our sample, 43 of the positions, 83%, are actually held by women. Likewise, women appear overrepresented in the staff positions of the relevant campus offices, but the level of overrepresentation was less than for the top positions. 73.1% of the positions are held by women. There has been a history of anti-male bias in educational institution handling of student conflicts under Title IX requirements. This may be due to this gender imbalance, due to the historical view of Title IX as a protection for women rather than a protection against sex discrimination, due to the influence of feminist ideology on the content of training materials, or due to a combination of these things. Regardless, this has led to hundreds of lawsuits, mostly filed by male students, as a result of improper handling of their cases. Students have been turning to the real court system for recourse against university personnel's refusal to respect and accommodate defendants' due process rights during Title IX investigation and hearing processes. This has included instances of bias and conflicts of interest in the staff handling the case, refusal to examine exculpatory evidence, failure to even disclose the accusation to the defendant, and several cases of denial of the right to cross-examine one's accuser. In several cases, universities have been smacked down by the courts for these and other violations of students' due process rights. In a few, the bias has been so bad that male students whose institutions, in accordance with their own policy, should have considered to be victims of their accuser's sexual misconduct, were treated as perpetrators and punished. In September of 2017, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos revoked the Obama-era guidance laid out in the 2011 Dear Colleague letter, on which many of the due process violations occurring at colleges and universities around the nation were based. In November of 2017, she released a rewrite of the guidelines with a focus on ensuring better institutional respect for due process in their investigations and hearings. This move has been widely celebrated by due process advocates and widely criticized by feminists and their supporters. For professionals in education's human resources industry, this means new training requirements, changes in policy and procedure, and for many, a legislative check on biases among employees. This, in turn, influences discussion at conferences for Title IX administrators and other relevant personnel. During the last few years, HBR's undercover badger Andrew has attended one such conference annually and reported back to us on some of the presentations and how change in federal policy has affected Title IX administrator training. This week we'll be examining his most recent observations. The discussion streams on multiple platforms: You can tune in Thursday at 7:30 p.m. via the link in the low bar, or find other viewing and listening options for that time or later on badgerfeed.com.